What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are here at Hervey Bay Airport. As today I was back from Fraser Island back to Canberra. So I was flying from Hervey Bay to Brisbane and then having a layover in Brisbane and flying from Brisbane to Canberra. So what had happened today was basically I got off. We caught the barge back off Fraser Island at about 10:30 this morning, and drove straight to Hervey Bay Airport. Got there about 11:30, and our flight wasn't leaving for about another 2 hours. So I was sitting there for quite a while at Hervey Bay Airport, not really doing much. I noticed they had all these model aeroplanes sitting here within the airport, so I thought I'd check them out. They were actually really sick. They had some really classic models in there that you don't really see too often. Like they had a fair few Virgin Blue models, which you can see right there. There's a Virgin Blue Boeing 737. I loved Virgin Blue back in the day. They were such a cool airliner. I loved the colour of them, just everything about Virgin Blue. But this was pretty cool to check out all these models that they had here within the airport. So once we made it through security and everything, and we were in the departures section of the terminal, we were just waiting for our aircraft to arrive. It was still flying in from Brisbane at the moment, so wasn't really too much going on. There was a little bit of action going on within the airport and everything, but it wasn't too much. There was a Royal Flying Doctors and all that going on while we're waiting for our aircraft to arrive. So our aircraft then eventually arrived on runway 11 here at Hervey Bay as QF 2378, which was coming in from Brisbane. So our plane for today, it was a QantasLink de Havilland Canada -8 400 series aircraft. Obviously operated by QantasLink with the registration VHLQL for our aircraft today. So we got a pretty nice view of it pulling up into Bay 2 here at Hervey Bay. Hervey Bay isn't the biggest of airports. It's only got 2 bays here at this airport, but we got a really nice view of our aircraft pulling up into Bay 2 here. So our flight for today, it was QF 2379, which was basically just straight back to Brisbane, so it was a pretty quick turnaround for this aircraft and its pilots and crew.
Thank you.
So for this flight, I was sitting in seat 8A, so I'm pretty close up to the front of the aircraft. I've got a nice view of the beautiful turboprop engine that these -8s operate, which means I got to watch this beautiful engine start up and everything. Just look at those propellers rotate as it begins to power up those huge engines that carry this awesome aircraft through the skies.
Remember, the crew is here for your safety.
So once everyone had obviously boarded, cargo, baggage, everything was loaded on, and the cabin door was closed. Safety demonstration was done and everything. We began our taxi out of Bay 2 and out to the runway. To begin our departure out of Hervey Bay Airport. So for this, we ended up backtracking back down the runway and backtracking to the end of runway 11, which was the runway that we were departing from today. So with the side of the aircraft that I was on today, I was able to get a pretty nice view of Fraser Island, which is the island that I had spent the last week at. If you haven't seen that video already, go check it out. Yeah, so got a nice view of Fraser Island as we banked to the right and began to start to head south towards our destination of Brisbane International Airport.
I'll go back to Fraser.
Sorry, 5. Keep your seatbelt fastened whenever
So we were pretty ahead of schedule, on time with things. We only ended up departing only 10 minutes behind our scheduled departure time, which isn't too bad. So yeah, for this fairly short flight, we only ended up climbing up to about 13,000 feet, which for this short jump through Queensland, it's it's a reasonable altitude, especially with the good old Dash 8s. You don't really expect too much more from these kind of aircraft. So for this short flight, there was a little bit of in-flight snacks and stuff. I just decided to get a nice glass of orange juice or cup of orange juice. Didn't really feel like anything to eat really, so yeah, I didn't really get anything to eat. Just got the nice beverage. So for this flight was about it's only about a 40-minute flight from Hervey Bay down to Brisbane, so it's not a fairly long flight. So we're going at about 295 knots. The pilots were going a little. They informed us that they were trying to go a little bit quicker, due to us leaving about 10 minutes later than we were obviously hoping. So they were sort of putting a foot to the floor. But yeah, about just under 300 knots we were going for the whole flight. So yeah, after about 40 minutes flying, or just under 40 minutes flying, we began our descent into Brisbane International Airport. We're coming in from the east side, so over the ocean. We're coming in, so not over the city and CBD of Brisbane for this arrival today. So yeah, nothing too interesting. I sort of got a nice view of our North Stradbroke Island coming in, but nothing too interesting on arrival into Brisbane today. So for today's arrival into Brisbane International Airport, I was arriving on runway 19 right. So the latest runway to be added into Brisbane's airport and everything. So it's not the main runway that is used at Brisbane Airport. It is this runway's been around for only a couple of years now, to be honest.
the local land and waterways.
So with this runway being sort of like behind the actual like terminal and main part of the airport itself, it is a fair bit of a taxi to the terminal from this runway. So whether you're departing from Brisbane Airport or arriving into Brisbane Airport, you're using this runway, yeah, it's going to be quite a taxi to and from the terminal for your flight, which isn't too bad sometimes, to be honest.
Complimentary for passengers.
So with us being in the Dash 8, we're actually taxiing and end up parking off in a standoff bay here at Brisbane Airport, which is pretty much what happens every time you fly in to Brisbane Airport with a Dash. When you're on a Dash, you'll always park in a standoff bay, which means you will have to catch a bus back, which, yeah, we obviously end up catching a bus back from our airport, and that took us to the terminal. I guess that took us under the terminal and sort of around all the aircraft within the gates, which was pretty sick, to be honest.
Yeah, we hop on here and it takes us to the terminal.
So we had about an hour and a half layover here at Brisbane International Airport today before our flight to Canberra. So yeah, I just sort of thought I'd walk around the terminal, see what's happening. It was pretty busy here at Brisbane Airport today. There was a fair bit going on, which is always good to see. There was lots of movements, even a few international movements, which I didn't get to see last time I came up to Brisbane Airport. Which was pretty cool. So yeah, the two international movements that I got to see here at Brisbane Airport today was a Air New Guinea Boeing 737. I saw an Air New Guinea last time I was here. That was a 767 though. And I also was lucky enough to get a Singapore Airlines Airbus A350 taxiing pass, which was pretty cool. This is the first time that I've seen a Singapore Airbus A350 up close in person, so yeah, it was really sick to see that in taxiing past and to depart to Singapore today. And then not long after spotting the Singapore Airlines A350, my aircraft that was taking me back to Canberra Airport today arrived right in front of me. So yeah, my aircraft for my second flight taking me back to Canberra today was operated by QantasLink once again, and it was Embraer E190 AR. So these were originally operated by Alliance Airlines, but QantasLink has bought most of these Embraers now. Yeah, and I mean, I love the Embraers. I reckon they're actually a really good aircraft to fly on. We're flying on the aircraft today with registration VHXVM. So we were a little bit delayed today. Our flight was delayed by about 20 minutes, I believe.
Oxygen is required.
But once we finally boarded, they tried to get us out and going pretty quickly. So for this flight, I was seated in seat 19A, so yeah, a little bit further back, but yeah, got a nice view over the left-hand side wing for today's flight, which was, well, can't complain about that.
Oxygen will flow through the mask, even though the bag may not inflate.
So yeah, they were really wasting no time in getting us out of there because of us being delayed. So yeah, we got pushed back fairly quickly, and then began taxiing out for our departure. So yeah, I believe they actually there was a few aircraft in front of us were meant to depart before us, but I believe they allowed us to depart first due to how delayed we were. So for our departure out of Brisbane today, we'll depart now off the main runway here at Brisbane Airport, runway 19 left. So we've got a nice view from my side of the aircraft. It wasn't the greatest view, but a view of the city and CBD of Brisbane as we left today. If you couldn't tell what that aircraft that I just zoomed in on as we were departing, that was a Royal Australian Air Force KC-30 multi-role tanker, which does air-to-air refueling for aircraft within the Air Force. So we were on flight QF 1909 from Brisbane to Canberra today. So obviously, with this being a fairly long flight, about an hour and a half flight, our cruising altitude was a lot higher than what we had for our flight from HVB to Brisbane. So we got up to about 38,000 feet for our cruising altitude. For our flight back to Canberra, and that's reasonable for a flight like this and an aircraft like this. So for this flight, for our in-flight snack, we just got some crackers and dip, and I just thought I'd decide to treat myself and get myself lemonade just for this evening's flight back to Canberra. So yeah, like I said, we were pretty delayed for this flight, and the captain did get over the speaker and did say that they were trying to get us sort of trying to make up as much time as possible. So we were going at about 450 knots for the whole flight, or for at least when we were at cruising altitude. That's what we were sitting at about, because the pilots did kind of want to make up as much time as possible due to how late we did end up leaving Brisbane. So yeah, after about probably an hour 20, since we took off from Brisbane, we began our descent into Canberra International Airport. So yeah, we were coming in pretty much right on sunset. The sunset was on the other side of the aircraft, so we unfortunately didn't really get a good view because it actually was a pretty good sunset this evening, but due to me being on the wrong side of the aircraft, I didn't get any clips or anything of the sunset, which is you know, you can't really do much about it. It is what it is. Well, we sort of just got the end of the sunset, just the end of it, as we turned back around to line up for our final on runway 35 here at Canberra Airport this evening. So yeah, we just got the end of the sunset, but anyway, there was, yeah, we even spotted a bit of backburn in some fields as we came in to arrive here at Canberra tonight. So yeah, it was pretty good evening for our arrival into the nation's capital.
Please check the screens in the arrivals hall, and as always, the Qantas ground team is happy to help. If you're continuing onto another flight, look for the Qantas.
So yeah, so once we arrived on runway 35, we taxied to our gate, and we were parking up in gate 10 here today at Canberra International Airport. So yeah, another two great flights from QantasLink. Yeah, I want to thank them for an awesome flight from HVB Airport to Brisbane International, and then from Brisbane International down here to Canberra International Airport here in the nation's capital. So yeah, just want to thank them for an awesome flight, and I also want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure to go down and subscribe for more videos like this one. There will be a few more flight reviews coming up later on the year, as I've got a flight booked to the Gold Coast as I'm going up the Pacific Air Show. Then some, yeah, I guess I'll see you legends in the next video. See you later, guys. Bye bye.